Welcome to Badminton Unlimited, your weekly access to badminton action and beyond. This week we're in Hong Kong to spend the day with its #1 men's singles shuttler, Hu Yun. And we head to the city of Colombo to find out about the work being done by the Sri Lanka Badminton Association to boost the sport in the country. China, the badminton powerhouse. In a country where competition is so strong, longevity is never guaranteed. And staying in the national team is a constant struggle. Being second best is often not an option. This uncertain future has led many of its talented shuttlers to seek a more settled existence on different shores. One such player is 32-year-old Hu Yun.
In 2006, I successfully applied for the Hong Kong's Quality Migrant Admission Scheme. I put in a lot of effort to achieve what I wanted, so I was determined to continue my career as a sportsman.
Based in Hong Kong since 2008, Hu Yun registered a first for the city-state when he reached a Superseries men's singles final in 2012. He's currently Hong Kong's #1 men's singles shuttler and in the top 20 of the BWF World Rankings. The right-hander was generous enough to show Badminton Unlimited around the island when we dropped by to talk about his career.
When I was young, like most boys, I was very active. I was always running around and playing different sports. I just couldn't concentrate on my studies. I started playing badminton and realized that I was actually quite good at it. So I continued to train and had never looked back.
The Hubei-born shuttler was even good enough to make it to China's national team in 1999. But after 6 years without any major success, he was overlooked by the national selectors. Hu Yun decided if he still wanted to pursue his career in the sport, he had to look elsewhere. The Hong Kong's Quality Migrant Admission Scheme proved to be a good opportunity for the then 25-year-old. It's a program that aims to attract overseas talents to the island. With the help of the Hong Kong Badminton Association, Hu Yun's application was accepted.
The Hong Kong Badminton Association must first approve my application and agree that I can contribute to the team. Without that, I might not have been selected at all. For the past few years, the association has been providing me with training and opportunities to take part in many competitions.
In December 2010, 2 years after he began playing for Hong Kong, Hu Yun reached his then career-high ranking of 12. 2 years later, he caused a stir when he made it to the final of the Li Ning China Masters. He was eventually downed by his former countryman, Chen Long. Despite the praise he received from his newfound fans in Hong Kong, he's taking it all in his stride.
During that moment, I was elated and excited. But soon after, I felt that it was nothing special. After all, I have been a badminton player for more than 20 years. I understand that I may never be an Olympic gold medalist or world champion, but being a Super Series finalist is still achievable for me.
2012 and the early part of 2013 were Hu Yun's most consistent. Apart from the final of the Li Ning China Masters, he made it to 2 quarterfinals and 3 semi-finals of 5 other Super Series tournaments. By the time he reached the middle of the 2013 season, the Hong Konger had achieved a career best of 4th in the BWF World Rankings. Looking back at what he's accomplished, he's just happy to have been given an opportunity to show what he can do.
When I was with the China national team, I felt more pressure because the players were eliminated easily. You'll be asked to leave once your skills are not up to their standard. But in the Hong Kong China national team, the standard is not that high. I am considered one of the better players. And right now, I'm enjoying every moment of my badminton career.
He may be one of the best, but he knows better than to take it for granted. Staying in the hostel at the Hong Kong Sports Institute, he keeps his life simple, training and keeping himself ready.
I usually read and play computer games when I'm free. I will get sufficient rest so that I'm well prepared for the next day's training or competition. I hardly step out of the hostel.
And China's loss could ultimately be Hong Kong's gain. Hu Yun is sharing the wisdom of his experience to the younger generation. Years of honing his skills under the training regime of his former country is on offer to the up-and-coming Hong Kong shuttlers.
Currently, I'm the leader or the role model of the team. My utmost responsibility is to help my teammates. This, I hope, will improve and raise the standard of the squad.
Not that he's ready to end his playing career just yet. There are a number of targets in the coming years, including the Asian Games and BWF World Championships later this year. And having missed out in representing Hong Kong in the 2012 London Olympics, he's hoping to make it to Rio in 2016.
I feel that a person must have a successful career. It doesn't matter if you are a student or a sportsman, but once you have decided on a path that you want to take, you must work hard and excel in it. I'm already over 30 years old, but I still persevere and continue to be in this sport. This proves that I still have the ambition and determination to achieve my goal. This is my motivation.
Having been given a second chance at living his dream, Hu Yun is desperate not to waste it. The veteran still has a driving passion and desire to achieve great things in the sport, and that's not only good for him, but for Hong Kong badminton. Now some trivia for you. Did you know? Current BWF president Paul-Eric Hoyer won the men's singles at the 1996 Summer Olympics. In doing so, the Dane became the first and only European player to win a gold medal in badminton at an Olympic game.
She's one of the best mixed doubles players in world badminton, and they really are a threat in world terms now.
My first title was the Iceland Open in 2006 ladies doubles with Emma Mason.
Again, it's a while ago. I think my first title was the Bulgarian Open in mixed doubles, but I may have to check. My first car was a Renault Clio.
My first car was an old-style Mini Cooper.
The first expensive gift I bought was quite a nice watch.
First expensive gift I bought was a new car, I think. My first CD single owned was Seal, A Kiss from a Rose, and it was a tape.
First tape I bought was it was Michael Jackson, Bad, the album. I normally call my sister when I've had a bad day.
If I've had a bad day, I'd probably call my best friend, possibly. My first badminton racket was a 3/4 length green one, which I had until I was about 13. I think it was Carlton.
No idea. My sister played badminton, so I think my first badminton racket was possibly a second-hand one from her.
Oh, my first badminton shoes were the high-tech ones, the really awful, old-style squash shoes.
My first badminton shoes were like Wilson Staff or something.
Second time of asking. 2 tournaments played in 2014 and 2 titles for Robert Blair and Imogen Bankia. What a run of good form. Absolutely outstanding.
When we get back, we're in Spain to search for a future champion as its association lays down its development program. It is understood that glory brings attention. Stories of triumph and the willingness to overcome act as motivation and inspiration, especially to the young. And so it has proved in Spain. Recently, we told the story of the achievements of Carolina Marin. The 20-year-old Spanish starlet is blazing a trail in international badminton. Her victories and trophies have struck a chord in her country's sporting conscience, helping to propel the sport into the mainstream.
I think that we've made a big step, especially with media exposure. I didn't expect to be greeted by a lot of journalists. I really hope that badminton in Spain becomes more and more popular because it's a very small sport here.
Hoping to take advantage of this newfound attention is the Spanish Badminton Federation. The administrators of the sport in the country are keen to push a development program called Looking for a Champion. We were in the capital, Madrid, to witness one of the high points of the project. A number of lucky children from the program were given a chance to meet some of the top players from the country.
It's a great chance for us because we want to be like them. Being able to meet them will give us that opportunity.
The program is the second part of an umbrella initiative entitled Fly with Badminton, the BWF Shuttle Time Development Project.
The Looking for a Champion program started about 10 years ago. We wanted to establish a project where we could develop players coming through the ranks. It's a program that focuses on 9 to 13-year-olds, and it tries to help youngsters work on their technique and overall ability, so later they can reach a high level of performance.
It is a countrywide program tying in with 11 other autonomous communities. The Spanish Badminton Federation works closely with each community's territorial association to monitor and identify up-and-coming talent. It's a highly structured program with 3 main tiers, starting with the basic level, then on to evolution, before entering the champion level.
We've structured this program so the youngsters and the coaches know what they have to train in each phase of the development of the athlete. Therefore, I think it's a great program, and we can say that the results are there to show it's a success.
The program lies within the sporting culture of Spain in that it relies on the technical development of the players rather than the physical. The association has over 40 internationally trained technical coaches available to oversee the skills development of the children.
It's had a huge impact on the young players. The difference between the quality of badminton we used to see 8 years ago is very poor. As opposed to now, it's practically a different sport. It used to be a sport that focuses on the physical aspect, where the players were trained to run around the court. The technical execution was too simplified and the tactical component was poor. But thanks to all of the content today that the coaches develop with the players, badminton is now an intellectual sport. Obviously, this time, it has tactical and physical aspects as well.
I've had a great time learning technical and tactical aspects from different coaches. Therefore, I'm very happy to have been able to participate. I can't complain.
These efforts are paying off. Besides the exploits of Marin, junior women's singles player Clara Azumendi recently won the bronze medal at the Under-17 European Championships.
The state of Spanish badminton is good in the overall development of the categories, not just at the international level, but also from the graduates of Looking for a Champion to the seniors. We have representatives on the European stage, and we also have seniors representing us at the elite level.
The Federation has set bold goals for its future. Marin's triumphs may have been a surprise to many, but for them, it's all part of a bigger plan.
We want medals at the World Championships and Olympics. Now we've won a medal at the European Championships, but that doesn't mean we don't want them anymore. We hope to continue winning, and to achieve that, we'll work hard for it. Our objective since 2008 was to make a project and a strategic plan at a high performance level to get medals at big events. We've got the first one, and will keep up the effort so it won't be the last.
Football and tennis may dominate the sporting landscape in Spain, but the public and the world might well have to add badminton to that list very soon. It was yet another exciting week of badminton as the Tokyo Metropolitan Gymnasium opened its doors to this year's Yonex Open Japan. The finals began with women's singles. China's Li Xierui took on Chinese Taipei's Tai Tzu-ying. Despite Tai's best efforts, the world number one proved to be too strong for her. Li used her experience as she overcame Tai in straight games 21-16, 21-6. It was an all-Japanese affair in the women's doubles. World number 4 Misaki Matsutomo and Ayaka Takahashi were up against world number 6 Reika Kakiiwa and Miyuki Maeda. In a contest that lasted just under an hour, it was Matsutomo and Takahashi who prevailed, winning 21-13, 21-17. Up next was the men's singles, with world number 1 Lee Chong-wei squaring off against Hong Kong's Hu Yun. The Hong Kong shuttler, whose last final appearance was at the 2012 China Masters, had impressed during the competition, disposing of the number 2 and 3 ranked shuttlers in the world, Chen Long and Janne Jorgensen, along the way. But Lee wasn't about to suffer the same fate to the unseeded Hu. The defending champion took just over 34 minutes to clinch the title for the third consecutive time. The men's doubles pitted Indonesian world champions Muhammad Ahsan and Hendra Setiawan against 6th seed Lee Yong-dae and Yu Yun-cheong. It was a straightforward affair in the first game as Lee and Yu eased past their opponents 21-12. The second game saw Ahsan and Hendra battle back to draw even, but it was the Koreans who eventually took the game 26-24. Gracing the final event for the day was the mixed doubles. Olympic champions Zhang Nan and Zhao Yunlei took to the court to face Germany's Michael Fuchs and Birgit Michels. It was a straightforward win for the world number 1 Zhang and Zhao as they won it in straight sets 21-12, 21-16, concluding another captivating installment of the Super Series event. After the break, we're in Sri Lanka to report on the work being done by its badminton authorities to raise the fortunes of the sport. This week's Player of the Week is the double pairing of Misaki Matsutomo and Ayaka Takahashi. The Japanese duo overcame their compatriots Reika Kakiiwa and Miyuki Maeda at the Yonex Open Japan to claim their first ever Super Series title. The current world number 4 will be hoping that this victory will be a springboard to more medals this season. We're in a country with a rich and long history of badminton, but it has no legacy. Badminton is the number 1 participation sport, but it isn't the most popular. We're in Colombo, the commercial and sporting heart of Sri Lanka. Badminton's relationship with the country goes all the way back to 1908 when the British first introduced it. It has been played at various levels throughout the years, but the nation has never been able to produce a genuine international star. The governors of the sport are hoping to change that.
We have a rich history, but with less results. So within the next 3-4 years, let us put that history with results-oriented programs.
An important element of this push is the Sri Lanka International Challenge. The tournament was launched for the first time earlier this month. The aim is to offer Sri Lanka a pathway to greater presence within the badminton community.
Unfortunately, our growth internationally has been far less than the growth of the other countries in the region. So, breaking new ground and having a world ranking tournament in Sri Lanka for the first time after 60 years is a giant step forward.
But why stop there? The association heads are keen to maintain the momentum. A spot on the BWF tournament circuit would not only bring even more support from the administrators of the World Game, but also help to increase the credibility of the country's badminton on the global stage.
The BWF events managers, the BSA event managers are here. They're surprised that Sri Lanka has a venue like this and that we were able to put a tournament of this quality. So my aim now is to bid for a Grand Prix Gold, which I have a gut feeling that we can sign a contract for 3 years.
From a sporting perspective, it also provides Sri Lanka shuttlers with a chance to play against high-caliber competition on home soil.
Malaysians are here, Koreans are here, and then I think Indians also here, so they are also coming up. And then I think for coming everyone here and then sharing your experience and then talking each other, watching their games, you know, and I think it is a good opportunity for everyone.
The international participation is mind-boggling. 17 countries and almost 200 players for the first international. Absolutely satisfied.
Badminton is considered the sport with the most participants in Sri Lanka. It outstrips the #1 sport in the country, cricket, in terms of sheer numbers, as it's seen as a family game. The issue is its structure. While other sports have benefited because of a strong administrative infrastructure, badminton's growth at the elite level has been stunted due to a lack of it.
Badminton is also a highly professionalized game now in the world stage. Okay? So we have top players, we have top talent, but we got to move from semi-professionalism to professionalism, because that is the stage we are now going to play on.
The Sri Lanka Badminton Association has begun to find solutions. Historically, the country's badminton development has been run on a twin-track system. The schools competitions and the nationals, each only accountable to itself. The SLBA has now brought that into line. Focusing on its juniors, it has exposed them to a greater number of tournaments nationally and internationally.
Sri Lanka Badminton Association itself conducts tournaments from under 11 to under 19, which we never did before. And if you look at the schools, there was not much competitive tournaments other than the junior nationals. So most of the badminton players got very little competitive badminton. That entire thing has now completely changed.
The work being done with the juniors has already begun to reap rewards. 4 of the youth shuttlers brought home gold medals from the 2013 Bahrain Junior International Series, the first ever to do so. Members of the junior national team have qualified for the Youth Olympics later this year, and their players are on the verge of breaking into the upper reaches of the BWF World Junior rankings. There is a real sense of optimism within the association.
Sri Lanka will start growing because we have the players, you know, unlike other countries. Even for this tournament, we have attracted quite a few good crowds compared to other countries. So badminton is on the roll and badminton will succeed in Sri Lanka.
While Sri Lanka still has plenty to do before it can begin to compete with its more illustrious Asian neighbours, it has begun the journey. And given its sporting culture and boundless enthusiasm, who's to say how quickly that next step will take? Before we go, let's find out what's happening in the world of international badminton in our Badminton Unlimited calendar. Next week on Badminton Unlimited, we catch up with Japan's #1 women's doubles players Misaki Matsutomo and Ayaka Takahashi as they tell us their secret to success. And we find out about badminton development in the city-state of Hong Kong. See you next week.